Okay, now it's live. Now it's live.
Good morning.
Someday there'll be a way to actually look at the live recording
I know, at the
before
same time,
we start it.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know how that will be possible, but
I'm
technology.
Sure Facebook will manage.
Yeah. Oops, no, that's not the right button. This is the right button. Good morning.
Uh-oh, we don't want the volume.
No. There we go.
Hearing an echo of ourselves
Yes.
would be highly distracting. That'll be a challenge spot. We'll do
Yeah.
that one of these weeks where we have
We'll just
to
have that
hear
fed back.
ourselves.
Well, I think about that a lot with pretty much anyone you see on TV that's like doing news or sports or whatever. Like they got someone else in their ear that's feeding them information and giving them notes on what's happening. And it takes a special kind of person to be able to do that well.
To filter that and keep saying what they're
while
saying.
you're still talking.
And not accidentally say, yeah.
Yes. Or I feel like I would just pause. And
because you're listening. It's polite to stop talking when you're listening.
No one else can hear what's happening in my head. That's actually most of my day. And it's good that no one else can hear what's happening in my head. It could be very traumatic for people. We took last week off, didn't we?
Yeah, it's been a crazy one. We've got a new employee though.
That's the best.
We're pretty excited about that. She's working out great. So far, so good.
Indeed. So yeah, last week we had like a new employee on Monday. I had the financial reality fair on Tuesday that I was volunteering at.
That's right.
So we just decided we would skip last week and punt the ball forward. And then yesterday best laid plans.
Exactly, yeah. Yesterday, I mean, I had the most crazy migraine. Like, I couldn't speak, so that wouldn't have worked out so well.
It would have been trouble.
I would have been sitting here clutching my coffee silently. Jeff would have sat there awkwardly.
Yeah, it would have been fun.
Yeah.
No, it would have been terrible.
So thankfully.
Yeah, but that's
a day later, but better.
That's kind of our shtick. Is we're flexible. So I get the call, or I get some messages. We have an internal messaging system, and I get a message early that says that someone else was sick, couldn't be in. Hopefully they'd be in to close, but they weren't able to come in this morning, or that yesterday morning. Followed then relatively quickly by you saying, I am in the worst way. I've got to shut it down.
I managed to get myself here, and then that was a mistake. I should not have come.
You couldn't drive home because you were wrecked.
I literally could not drive home. Yeah.
And so, thankfully, that happens very infrequently.
Super rarely.
It is.
Usually
it is very infrequent.
Being unwell.
Yes, but even that is fairly infrequent, so I don't have to deal with that very often. But we had to do a little juggling. So this morning is normally Waffle Wednesday, second Wednesday of the month. So we pushed that forward to Friday.
Yep.
Waffle Friday. We moved this to here. Yeah. Andrew's last day is on Friday, and
We're
so
gonna miss Andrew.
Yeah, we will. But we'll have waffles to celebrate him. Like, that's convenient. We got some cupcakes later maybe, but we'll start with waffles. The only other thing that I want to say before we get started to all of my baseball-loving friends is that we're like a dozen games into the season, and the Yankees have not been very good. We have had a few bright moments, but we've just been kind of even. But the Red Sox have been so bad. The Red Sox... Oh, see, that's just, it's bad timing here. I mean, like, they were 3-9 yesterday. I can't remember what happened. Oh no, they lost yesterday. So I think they're 3-10, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody let me know. What is the Red Sox record? I'm pretty sure. Hey Siri, how are the Red Sox doing this year?
Uh-oh. The Red Sox appear to be in last place in the AL East right now with a record of 3-9.
3-9. Okay.
That's funny.
Uh-oh, she says. The Red Sox are in last place. I don't know if that came through at all. But no, that's not going to stay there. No. That's not going to be...
I have been waiting all baseball season to do that to him. And I don't even care.
Yeah, that's the worst, is that she doesn't care. So anyway, the one little bit of respite from not being super successful this year is that the Red Sox have been so bad. Nah, it won't stay that way. But
you never know.
But what are you going to do? Oh man, wouldn't that be amazing?
You never know.
Wouldn't that be?
I'd be happy for you.
It would really be something. It would really be something if that were the case. I mean, that would be a massive underachievement. So let's hope. Let's hope.
Do you have any Red Sox friends?
Oh yes, yeah. The podcast from I think 2 weeks ago now. She came in and she immediately put on a Red Sox hat. So I had to watch her with a Red Sox hat the whole time we're doing this conversation. And
did you start asking her really hard questions?
Yeah, just start grilling her. Where were you on September 5th, 1972? It's an unsolved case. I don't know. It's a cold case. I don't. Yeah, so I have plenty of bread, and that's part of the fun. It's like it honestly wouldn't be as fun to be a Yankee fan without the Red Sox.
Opposition.
Yes,
yeah.
You have to have that person that team that you're like, oh, our nemesis. So
what are we talking about today? We do a lot of things other than printing.
Indeed.
Yeah, and kind of switch sides here a little bit. He's usually asking me questions, but I'm gonna kind of get Geoff to tell us a little bit about all his other ventures. So, I mean, you do all kinds of stuff, right? You wrote a book.
Mm-hmm. Which I should have. We showed it in the.
In here?
I don't think there is. We showed it in the binding, but yes, yeah. I mean, it's mostly an ebook, but we did print some copies here to share with people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's the book about?
So it is just I call it a bunch of irreverent observations about business and leadership. I for a long time I really felt weird about the way I felt about business, the way I thought about business. And I went to 6 weeks of college and didn't know what I was doing there, and so I just stopped going. And so I don't have this strong business background in terms of like an education that has formed all these ideas. And it's fantastic if you can get that. I didn't go that path. And so the way I think about business is sort of a subset of the way that I think about the world, right? And I think that it makes sense for us to take care of one another, and that the object of business is not exclusively profit making. You have to make a profit.
Yeah,
you have to make more money than you spend, or you don't get to do it.
It's one of those help yourself so you can help others. You can't. Yeah.
And so we try to do really good work for people, and ideally we make more money than we spend, and that affords us the ability to do some interesting things and to make sure that my employees are paid well. And like I don't think people think about that when they at the counter are talking about how they could get it for less online.
Right.
You know, sort of what they're saying, even though they're not saying that, is I don't really care about you making a good wage and about your livelihood. I care about getting this for a few dollars less. And so I think part of doing business well is making sure that your employees enjoy coming to work, that they're well compensated for the work they do. You guys aren't compensated gratuitously. We're not just like trying to, stockpile and hey, you guys get massive bonuses because I
want to buy my jet.
We really hose some people on these, We're trying to be fair, but I also recognize that there's both sides. I have to be fair to customers, I have to be fair to employees, and I have to be fair to myself at some point along the way. And that I had a lot of really, unconventional ideas about what business should look like. And I felt very insecure about that. And I felt very like, man, if everyone finds out what I think about business, they're going to say, what? You can't do it like that.
Right.
That's against the rules. You're dumb, whatever. And at some point, I
decided,
I don't know. I wish I could figure exactly what the turning point was. But
did the book come from before Thanks Fairbanks?
No, it was after Thanks Fairbanks. So I'm sure that was part of it.
because you'd kind of been like, you know what, this was the right route.
Yeah.
But the flip side, the return on your investment in your employees is the flip side is taking good care of us. We take that and pass it right on to the customer.
Oh, absolutely.
And so most of the time, and we're super grateful for this, most of the time our customers do value that. They value what they're getting with us, and that's really awesome.
I really believe they would miss it if it was gone.
Exactly. They might not necessarily always realize it's there, but you investing in us has a direct impact. We then invest in the customers, and we're always trying so hard to take care of and make sure that they are they're coming to us instead of online because we are so much more helpful.
Yeah, well, I truly believe that. I mean, like, bad customer service is just a cliche because you see it everywhere. Good service is really the irregularity, and I learned very early on that, I mean, providing good service was a massive differentiator. But you can tell when you go into an establishment if the employees don't feel like the leadership cares for them.
Right.
They're not either from a financial standpoint or from just the way that the organization works, the systems, whatever you want to get into. You can tell when they feel like, this organization doesn't support me. They don't care about me.
They don't have my back.
And I think you can also see when they do feel that, when they do recognize that. So yeah, the book is really just about what it means to take care of people. The book is about what it means to lead, like sort of servant leadership, that kind of stuff, and what it means to try to leave a mark. And what we're really talking about today is taking the business and saying we provide value by the services, direct services we offer. People need printing services, and we provide a valuable service in that. But we have an opportunity then to sort of extend that, and I really care about leaving things better than I found them. I was given a lot of help from a lot of people along the way that saw something in me, that had some sort of influence on me in a really positive way. And man, if I can do that for someone else, that seems like a really cool way to go. And I'm getting old, so like legacy is important to me.
Exactly, yeah.
Thinking about what do I leave behind when I'm not here anymore, you know? Yeah. Which makes me remember, you know, in the safe, the envelope in the safe, the open when Geoff's dead.
Yep. If Geoff gets hit by a bus,
open this envelope. Yep.
I'm convinced it's mostly just going to be like letters of affection to all of us.
Yes, I've told you it's passwords and some of those kind of key things.
But it's actually just going to be a bunch of mushy stuff about how much he misses us.
I try to, how much I miss you. I try to be mushy along the way. There's not going to be anything mushy at the end. I just try to get that all out right now.
Like, all right, okay.
These are just the facts. That's fantastic.
Let's see, but you do a lot of other things too. You send out weekly emails.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Spark is it's like the hub for all the things. If somebody wants to get plugged into what we're offering, and the basic, like if you're looking at who's the kind of person who would be interested in this, the things that we're making, it is the professional, the small business owner, the person who is actively working and wants to do the best work that they can. That's probably our target market.
Their inspiration up. Yeah.
So once a week I send out an email message that's like short. The idea is for it to be a minute or less. You can get into something and it's going to make you say, it's going to make you kind of reevaluate maybe, and ultimately, hopefully, give you something to take into the week that can challenge you and give you a different focus for the week. But then that has links to all sorts of other stuff in there that we're doing. But yeah, the email is the hub. And so like, let's just write this second. DatelineDigital.com/spark.
Yeah, I feel like we need more up here.
We should. I'm not connected to anything. I have one here, yeah. Let's see if I can do this in a way that's halfway legible. You can keep talking.
I'll just let him right there. Well, I was looking at our notes here, and I realized I've kind of jumbled your order a little bit.
Don't worry about it.
But really, what it all started though with was Thanks Fairbanks. So I think that we should kind of backtrack and come back to the beginning.
Sure. Yeah, Thanks Fairbanks was one of those. I feel like I've been the beneficiary of some happy accidents, some sort of accidentally brilliant things that I wish I could take credit for just being super smart and knowing that, oh yeah, this is going to be fantastic. But mostly, I have been able to stumble my way through enough things and be smart enough to know this is a path worth going down.
When something's working.
Yeah. And certainly, there have been plenty of things that I've said, we should try this, and it's not worked very well, but I've learned a lot from those things. I have taken that and...
well, you got to put yourself out there. I mean, if you succeeded every time, you'd be a billionaire.
Yeah, man, that would be terrible. You're right. Why would anyone want to do... Yes, but even, I would argue even those people are... they're failing a lot in the small ways so that they can then find the big hits. So Thanks Fairbanks really was born out of me just realizing that I wanted to express gratitude more. So I started making cards and sending cards every day. And I realized that we had, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment out there that we could make cards, and we had the opportunity to do something original and kind of interesting. And so at that point, I had a business partner, and I went to him and said, man, I just think that we should start giving these things away. And when you're a very small company, you can make decisions very quickly. Sometimes that's bad because you can make bad decisions super fast.
You don't have to go through the board and get 10 different approvals.
But we had the framework, I guess, for Thanks Fairbanks within about 30 minutes. And we just decided give away 3 cards every 3 months. Once a quarter, we'll give out 3 cards. People can subscribe online. And so that's still happening today, thanksfairbanks.com. You can give us your address, and we will send you only thank you cards. We're not mailing you other stuff. We're not using that for
add you to some
other nefarious purposes. Yes. That is separate from Thanks Fairbanks. You don't have to
get all of them.
But then, so we have a list of over 1,000 people. We've given away somewhere in the neighborhood of 80,000 thank you cards at this point. And I've gotten the chance to, this is good. Your Mevo battery is critically low.
Uh-oh.
It was in good shape earlier, but apparently it is. We'll see. We'll see how long this lasts.
I just want to say, hi, Jen.
and hello, Rhonda. Rhonda's on with us. So, but yeah, it was really the genesis of a lot of this. It got me the opportunity to get to speak to people and to share that story and really realize that we could make an impact with what we do.
And kind of started breaking you out of your shell, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, the difference between the Geoff I knew when I worked here when I was 19 and the Geoff I met when I was back home visiting in 2012 when they had their Thanks Fairbanks launch party thing, that was already a transformation. And then fast forward was it another 5 or 6 years? Something
between that and what?
To me coming back here to actually move back and work. I mean, just the growth is really great to see, and Thanks Fairbanks is kind of what started it all.
It really was.
Sparked it
all. Well done. I think that it's easy to look at what the cool things other people are doing and think, man, I couldn't do that. That's really fantastic.
It's intimidating.
Intimidating is a great word. But everybody has something that they can offer that's going to be valuable to someone somewhere. And so our scale is different than Apple's scale or Tom's shoes or whatever, pick your example. But what we can do for the people we can do it for is worth it. It's worth making that contribution. And so it's fun to be able to share those and to basically take a resource that we have. It would be so much more costly for any other individual person to run this program. But we have all the efficiencies in place. The equipment, the supplies, all that stuff we use as a regular part of our business.
Wonderful helping hands.
Your my parents come in.
His parents come in every quarter and they stuff all those thank you cards lovingly into envelopes just for you.
That's right. That's right. They do.
And we get to visit with them a little bit, and it's really cool that we're back.
We're back. Sorry about that. For people who are watching this later, it'll all be cut together on YouTube. But
for those who are kind enough to join us on our original live video, it is now broken up and started again. And I just saw Helen tuned in. Good to see her.
Man, we messed it up. Well, right. I tell you, but not for lack of trying. I did check all the things, and the battery lied to me. So we did look at that before we started, but it was a failure. So yes, Thanks Fairbanks was the thing that really kicked it all off. And I feel super grateful. That sounds stupid because
very thankful for things.
But I'm very grateful for being able to kind of be a caretaker of that program. Like it really belongs to the people who participate in it.
Right.
But it's super fun to be. Yeah.
It grew. I mean, people loved getting thank you cards, and it just kind of exploded.
And so that then got me on stage at like TEDx, and that was a cool moment. And that, to this day, I mean, that's been 5 years ago now. To this day, I still get messages periodically from people who have stumbled across it. And I talked to somebody in Minnesota like 2 weeks ago, who had come across it, and they were working on a similar but different kind of project. And anyone who wants to borrow the idea, I mean, do it. That's not, if you live somewhere and you want to make, do it. But they had a project they were working on, and they reached out to me and was like, can we have a conversation about kind of how you got started and how you did that, because I think it'd be really valuable. And it's like the most fun.
It's really cool.
Very fun.
Let's see. So what have we missed? Your It Gets Loud in Here videos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I wish I could remember what the genesis of that was, but I feel that especially in small business, it is very easy to think everyone else has it figured out, and you're the one person that's struggling.
In life.
Yes. But no one, and certainly no one wants to talk about it. But in business, it can be this touchy thing to say, man, I'm really struggling. I need help. And so I kind of wanted to be able to provide some sort of behind the scenes, some sort of observational kind of stuff about the stuff that I was thinking about, the kind of things that were going on in my world. And certainly there's a level of transparency that you can reach that maybe is more transparent than some people are willing to do. But then I have employees, I have a family. I can't just be transparent about everything.
Yeah,
and so that's the challenge, is figuring out how to be as transparent as possible without being irresponsibly transparent, I guess.
And that's what helps you build the personal connections, and that's something that I see and am always trying to grow in that, because I lack that. I go into business mode, and when you don't show people your real self, who you are, struggles, it's really hard for people to connect to you. So kudos. That's
so every
you
day
put yourself out there.
In 2016, every day for 6 months, I posted a video. I mean, like, I made a little video. I didn't just
right. It's not like you were sharing.
It wasn't just a lot you can throw together and not have batteries in your camera. So I was filming, editing, posting every single day for 6 months.
Yes,
and I learned a ton about the production side of things. I learned a ton about what I needed to capture, how to capture quickly, how to sort of distill a bunch of different things down to a very small, because the videos were generally between 2 and 4 minutes, something like that. It wasn't like
they were short and sweet.
Thing.
Yep.
But it was cumbersome, and so I'm doing it more like once a week now. I took a break of about 18 months.
You're like,
it was amazing
I can only be so inspirational.
No, but it definitely is time consuming, and,
it is.
And I think that what has happened over time is I have more irons in the fire, and so the ability to do that on repeat is just I don't want to just do it.
Yep, I think you hit a point where you knew that it was going to be quality versus quantity, and you chose quality. Yeah, definitely.
So I love posting videos. I love vision. I love creating. I mean, I'd love to make things, and so that lets me sort of flex that muscle and play in that arena while still contributing something valuable. I'm not just running around with a camera and making short films, although that's a super cool thing to do. Hard to incorporate that into your job sometimes. So I really want, in all these things, to find this harmony between these elements. If I can engage in creating something, if I can engage in making something, while also still making that be a valuable thing from a professional perspective, that's a great marriage for me. I get to play a little bit while making something.
They service each other.
Yeah, exactly. So, I love doing that, and that I think has been. I'm trying to reach people in a number of different formats. So a lot of people that are not YouTube people.
Oh yeah,
right?
like I'm not a podcast person. Yeah. So yeah, I've listened to some of them and they're great, but I just don't take the time to put on a podcast. I don't know why. Yeah. So yeah, having different avenues is really good.
Yeah. So you can reach people kind of where they're at instead of demanding they do the one thing you're doing. Yeah.
Which
the podcast
comes to our I think it's the last one on our list here. I like the way you work it. It's your podcast for every other week.
Yeah, this might be the most fun.
You like it? Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's kind of new. So I've been doing it since November. Like 15 episodes I think have been published. I've got 16 and 17 that I'm editing today.
For some reason, because I just did the podcast with you, and to me that was more nerve-wracking than this. I don't know why.
Super funny.
But I felt so fumbled, and when I listened to myself, I was like, that I meant to say something completely different there. It's just you hear yourself and you're like, my brain just blanked on me so many times.
That's super funny.
And for some reason, and I don't know why, this is more natural.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well,
I don't know.
So that's why we do
But
this
the podcast is really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun because I'm just constantly amazed by the cool people that I get to play with. And I get to just interact professionally with so many interesting people. And it's easy to look at the CEO or, the big shot as being an interesting person. Like, we want to hear from them because they seem like they're special in some way. And yet, I'm dealing with people throughout all sorts of spots and organizations. And I'm like, they just have such a cool story, or what they do is interesting, and the ability, the opportunity to share that and to basically say, hey, Fairbanks people, I've got, and obviously beyond that with the podcast, but I mean, the market is Fairbanks. The people I'm trying to reach are Fairbanks. I've got some cool people for you to meet. And so in the span of 30 to 45 minutes, I think that people are getting an insight into people they can know, people that they could literally meet at a chamber luncheon or shoot an email to and connect with if they find some overlap. And they're finding out things about them that are just not the things
they're below
that
the
you
surface.
know. Yeah, a little below the surface, exactly. So that has been a lot of fun to work on. It's more work to edit a 30 to 45 minute podcast, so I can't do it every week. That definitely is a challenge. Yeah. Finding guests and scheduling and all that stuff. There needs to be a little bit more space between there. But man, it's been super fun to work on that, and I hope people are enjoying. I really do hope that the people that are listening are getting some cool insights. That's the feedback I'm getting, but you just get a sliver of the audience. So yeah. So that's it. I mean,
did we? Yeah.
I think we covered most of the weird stuff, and then there's this. This is generally more here's stuff that we do, because I think there's a lot of things that people don't know that we do.
Absolutely, yeah. Trying to bring the information to the customer, but I mean, this is all the other stuff we do that is not print.
Because really, at the core of it, we are trying to help, especially the business community, the nonprofit community, organizations in town that are trying to accomplish mission X, whatever that is. We are here to help them do that well. And a big part of that is printing things and making banners and business cards and all that, sending mailers, all that kind of stuff. But I'd like to think that there's something else that we have to offer in terms of, I want Dateline, I want us to be a model for how business can work, and be good for the community, be good for the employees and customers, like all these different stakeholders. And so I would, maybe arrogantly, but I'd like to think that we can be a model for that. And so I want us to be able to share those things and say, it's not that weird to be this weird.
I think that the evidence of that, the evidence of the success, is that when someday any of us move on, and whether we decide to employ people ourselves or go move on to a different position, we're gonna take this with us and knowing the kind of work environment we want to be part of and we want to help mold is going to change wherever we go.
Yeah.
So success.
Yeah,
I
and
think
that's it.
It's
I really do want people to, as they move on, to think back on this
and know how it can
not
be.
from an ego standpoint,
No,
like
no.
oh, Geoff was the best, but to think back and say, man, that was transformative for me.
Right.
That at the very least, that people will leave here and say, I know how I should be treated by an employer,
Right.
and I won't settle for less than that.
And the team,
Yeah.
like it does really encompass everything, and so you end up realizing that as part of the team, you have a lot more power than you think. Yeah, you could have an employer that's less than ideal, but you can still be the positive driving force in that team. You can change things where you are, and I know some places that's not as easy as others, but that's something that I take with me wherever I go, and I think that most people who work here afterwards, they're kind of like, oh, it can be like that. Like let's try to make it like that, you know. And so then they try to foster that wherever they are next.
Yeah, so. and that's the idea. I have some past employees, people that have moved out of state, that it is just such a treat for me to see them growing and watch their families and just all this kind of stuff, and to know that I got to be a part of that, like a little part of their story. And so that's super important to me, and I love that a lot. So we're just doing our best to do good work in all the ways that we can. So
I know I'm biased, but I think that we're on the right track.
Good. So datelinedigital.com/spark.
Yep.
If you go there, you can sign up for that weekly email, and that will get you links to the videos that I'm producing, links to the podcast. It will get you a message that ideally helps you to do your very best work throughout the week. And then there's also thanksfairbanks.com if you want to get free thank you cards. So
if you want to call and talk about a project, our number is 479-3831.
There's that too.
And we can give you verbal advice or help with whatever it is you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, in fact, we should probably get to it. It's been kind of crazy out there, which is a very, very good thing. So we should probably go out and do some of that.
Well, I like this new format we have here.
This is something,
I feel like it's a little more up close and personal.
It's very up close and personal. Chompy agrees. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Now I don't know how to turn... Oh, there we go.